Well, good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The sports report is just not the sports report. This is the Bill Crane report.
It'll be sports.
Yeah, there'll be everything.
The sports of politics.
That's right.
Sports of this.
And my good friend Dwayne Weiss is here with me. And now, we're not going to talk about my latest injury, but next time we might just do a remote, and I'm going to show you the guide the barrier that I tried to hop over when I hurt my back.
Folks, you got to remember, at a certain age, you got to use this instead of your back. You don't go jumping over barriers and you're well into your 70s.
78 to be exact. 79 is looming.
Yeah.
But anyway, for those of you that don't know, I hurt my back and I've been on the sick list for 3 or 4 weeks. But I'm about 90% back. So anyway, Dwayne, I think I'm going to start off with closing the thing here and going to this. So, I have read this book, The Secret Life of J. Edgar Hoover. Now, I am going to assume, not knowing, I'm going to assume that this is a decent biography of him by Anthony
Have you
Summers.
finished the book?
I finished it.
Okay.
It is the scariest book you ever want to read. This guy had his hands on everything in government.
Oh, I'm not surprised there.
He had his hands around the throats of every politician.
Didn't he keep files on people?
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable. And the people that came and worshipped him.
Oh,
Unreal.
I think he did a snow job and a buffalo job on so many people.
They were absolutely afraid of this man. So many of them. Presidents, LBJ,
Oh, yeah.
John F. Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy both. Now, we don't dare do anything about him.
Yep.
Because he leaked it to them that he knew all about the Marilyn Monroe deal.
Oh, yeah, and he did too.
And the various others too. I mean, John F. Kennedy was a woman machine. Boy, I'll tell you. He picked them up and laid them down and, man alive, he ran through them like Grant taking Richmond. And some of the names, I mean, Hollywood starlets.
Oh, yeah.
Because his brother-in-law was Peter Lawford. So he gave Peter a list. Oh, I want to be with this one, this one, this one.
He had the contacts too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, he used Peter Lawford's house out in California, and ay. But, my friends, if any of you would like to borrow this book, I'll be more than happy to lend it to you. It will, if you're interested in politics, interested in how things work in this country, it'll scare the hell out of you. Really and truly will.
Yep. He was an empire builder and he was a power monger.
Oh, the things he did to people.
Yep.
I mean, if you crossed him, if you wore the wrong color socks,
Oh, I'm not
he'd
surprised.
transfer you to Montana.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, just like that. Absolutely incredible. In some of the bits and pieces of his personal life, scary.
Let me ask you, was he accused of wearing women's clothes?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I thought. I used to hear
a
those.
lot more than accused. I mean, this guy's got witnesses to parties where he came dressed as a woman.
You can't make this stuff up,
No,
folks.
you
It's
can't.
Just,
And do you know that he was a closet homosexual?
oh, I think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, him and Clyde Tolson.
Okay.
Existed. But yet,
But he went after the people
yes,
with tooth and nail.
hell had nothing. I mean,
Yep.
he went after homosexuals viciously.
Yep.
Perverts, throw them out of office, put them in, put them in Montana, put them in Maine, transfer them to the worst post they had, and unbelievable guy. It'll scare you, folks, to see this, read it, and then compare it to some of the stuff going on today.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Oh, so did you watch the debates last
Yeah, I
night?
did. Both of them. Both nights.
What did you think?
Folks, we're in trouble if they get elected. I think that those 20 people up there, maybe with the exception of one, Biden, are going to assure Trump's reelection.
And also, God forbid, one of them is elected,
Yep.
because all the gains in the stock market are going to come crashing down.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is going to be a bloodbath.
Well, you got 19 of them up there, either saying we're going to break up companies, we're going to destroy Apple, we're going to destroy General Motors, we're going to destroy, pick one.
Private health care.
Oh yeah, they're going to destroy that. You're going to throw out millions of people just out of unemployment of the insurance companies to start with, and billions and billions, trillions of dollars of infrastructure built.
One of the things in the paper this morning, a hospital administrator just said, well, if they do what they say they're going to do, and they're going to freeze the rates that we're going to receive for taking care of patients, all the hospitals will close.
They'll close.
Yeah.
They cannot possibly do it.
I mean, you can't provide $100 worth of service for 20 cents in return.
If you folks watch that, and I don't like reruns per se, but you can see it on reruns on some of the channels. Check it out, because they are giving you the recipe for a disaster. How to destroy a company or country. It is absolutely scary, and you think, how can you be so damn stupid?
It is. It's mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. Now, you and I are both students of history.
Yep.
To listen to AOC talk about things like concentration camps.
Yep.
I mean, and relate, her own personal opinion of what should happen. It is, there's the average 8-year-old knows
right.
more than she knows. And yet, the reporters are just as bad. In fact, they're worse.
Yeah.
Because they're hanging on every word she says. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Oh, write this down. And they put it in the paper the next day.
Oh, yeah. But you'll notice, too, that none of them, they all had these ideas, except how are you going to implement and how are you going to pay for it? They would just brush over that like, well, the Sandman's going to bring it.
Not one of them, really, from what I can see of the last two nights, explained how this would work financially.
No, they can't.
They can't.
Because it's impossible.
It doesn't add up.
The one last night was saying his proposal, and I'm not sure where he came. I think probably California, but his proposal was $1,000 per person, anybody 18 years old per month. We would give everybody $36,000 cash from the government. Then they would go out and spend it, and this would generate this. And are you crazy? Add up what $36,000 to every man, woman, and child over 18 years old in this country. You got more than the budget 2 or 3 times our national budget already.
And that's just for 1 year.
That's just 1 year.
You
That's
do
right.
that every single year?
Yeah.
Where's the money going to come from?
Tax the rich. Oh, we're going to go over Wall Street.
Yeah, we can wipe out the rich in
They
1
keep
year.
saying they think about these naughty, nasty insurance companies and these big corporations and this and that. They are not they look at them as some kind of evil entity. They're not. They're people. They may be big, but that insurance company probably hires 150,000 people. Those people are working for a salary and a paycheck every week. It's not some entity that's just picking the money out. Those are people.
Do you know who the new villain is too? Another one of the villains, I mean. But the people like Fidelity and Vanguard and T. Rowe Price, the folks that own mutual funds and sell them to the public, wow, they're bad.
Yep.
They're raping the people.
Oh, absolutely. That's what they
you
tell
know,
you that.
Folks, I've invested in mutual funds all my life. They've been good to me, very good to me. And you know, when you untangle your pen, when you invest $100 with Fidelity,
Yep.
one of their funds that I invest in is the Puritan Fund. I've invested in it
I've got
for a
that too.
gazillion years, a wonderful balanced fund. You know what they charge to manage the Puritan Fund? On $100, 60 cents.
Yep.
Now, if that's called raping the people, man, I'm a monkey's uncle. You know another thing about, and I'll get to it. I've got it in here. Maybe I can find it real quick while I'm making this point. And then again, probably not. But anyway, it's in here and I'll find it. We'll talk about it. But they want, they're going to try to tell you, or they are telling you, that the middle class absolutely got nothing out of the tax
Oh, yeah,
cut.
nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
That's what I tell you.
Yet, 51 or 2% of the middle class have 401ks. Mm-hmm. Now, 401ks, you can invest in stock funds, bond funds, balanced funds, and the average fund, I think the average, since Trump's election, the average Dow Jones Industrial Average, and it's in here, has gone up like 40%.
Oh, easy
Now-
that, maybe more.
Now, are you kidding me? The middle class hasn't gotten anything out of the tax cuts. Their 401ks have gone up. The S&P 500 funds have gone up like 50 or 55% in the 2.5 years that he's been president.
Yep.
I mean, who is kidding who? And why doesn't the press, why doesn't the commentators, why doesn't the talking heads that are so brilliant say to the people like AOC, what are you talking about? Have you looked at what the average 401k has gone up? But they don't.
No, they don't.
Why?
Well,
I know
because,
why.
well, first of all, they're hypocrites. While they're bad-mouthing all these companies and all these investment firms and these insurance companies, if I wish you could just lay out what their investments are
Yeah.
and their background, their assets.
Yeah.
They've got big money in these companies themselves, but yet they stand up there and they pontificate. Oh, they're so bad.
Holier than thou.
Oh, yeah. I thought, I really was yelling for Ryan, the congressman or the senator from Northeast Ohio. Ryan, his name. He lives from Youngstown area,
All right.
where Lordstown and stuff are. When our brilliant senator that we have, the fake Indian, is up there still talking about we got to break up these companies, and she says like General Motors and somebody else. And I thought Ryan, if he had any kind of he'd be over there with his hands around her throat, because General Motors is closing companies or factories like Lordstown, throwing 1,700, 2,000 people out of work, and throwing the communities are going to be devastated. And she wants to break them up.
Yeah.
He ought to be over there beating on the top of her head and telling her to shut up.
And you know, there isn't a jury in the world that would commit.
No, but he
find
doesn't
him
say
guilty
he
of
doesn't
murder.
say a word
No.
to her.
No. I mean, she is one of. Oh well. You know, I know what they're all thinking. She could be the next president.
Yeah.
And am I going to poison her well on her?
Are you kidding
What
me?
have I got to gain and what have I got to lose?
That's right.
Unbelievable. Well, I've got some stuff here that is of phenomenal interest
Okay.
to us all. Hearing planned after string of shootings in Boston. Guess who's going to hold hearings?
Oh.
The Boston City Council. Yep,
Absolute group of biggest nincompoops you've ever come across.
that's exactly right. Councilors Kim Janey and Matt O'Malley, this is good, said in the order calling for the hearing, they believe the city should take public health approach to the violence by providing social services and jobs to youths in the city. Their goal is to discuss summer violence and find ways to strengthen community-driven reporting. Now, if that's not good enough, in the hearing order, it credits a number of BPD and community programs, such as Operation Hoodsie Cup, which has given out more than 150,000 cups of ice cream to Boston children. Well, there you are. Okay? I mean, what the heck? Let's find some jobs for these kids that are shooting up the neighborhoods and give them some Hoodsie cupcakes, cups of ice cream.
Oh yeah, everything is so simplistic with these people because they're not deep thinkers, Bill.
No, and they elect people to these boards with no experience.
That's right.
Ay.
Well, we just appointed another woman. Not saying the woman's bad, but we appointed a woman to the head of the CEO of Massport again, with no Massport that transportation type experience. But she got appointed because she's knows somebody in the legislature or the governor's friend.
When this comes out, when Howie Carr writes a column on this in a couple of days, we'll find out exactly
what the
who
connection
she
is.
knows.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
somebody connected
Of
again.
course it is. And this is what is rotten about politics.
Not only that, it's dangerous.
Of course it is.
Look what happened in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
We set a registry of motor vehicles in this state that's almost all political appointees. They get appointed to these positions. They're know-nothing nincompoops. They don't know what the hell they're doing, but they get appointed because they know somebody. And DeLeo one time says, well, that's the way we do business here, and nobody gets harmed. Baloney, 7 people just got killed because of it.
Well, I'll tell you what. Her hands have got to be dirty. Because she immediately resigned.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't dump $183,000 and run from it.
Plus perks.
That's right. I mean, and the registry of motor vehicles has been like that since time immemorial.
Yep. There wasn't hardly a person that wasn't a political hacker that got in
That's
there.
exactly right. That was one of the incoming governor's plums.
Yep.
All right. And
You see what it got us? It got people killed.
of course.
This is not a harmless activity that Massachusetts engages in. This is a deadly practice now today.
Unbelievable. I'm going to skip this next one. I want to go to this one. Gambling gridlock in Everett.
Oh, that they were just knew that place was just going to fall. The world was going to come to an end because the casino opened. Oh my God, it's going to cause so much traffic. We're going to have killings and murders and prostitutes are going to be running wild on the streets and jeepers.
Organized crime's going to move
Oh,
in.
my God.
And go by transit. Don't go by car. Go by boat. But come.
Oh yeah,
Well, guess what happened?
nothing.
They opened up and
We had hundreds of thousands of people and it
Yeah.
worked fine. Oh, and then 4 people got arrested.
which probably 4 people would get arrested on that street corner before they
More than that, probably. 2 of them were cheating at roulette. The dumb fools don't know that everything you do is being watched on cameras, and they're trying to switch bets. Well, they're watching them from 8 different. Of course, they're going to throw them out and arrest them. One was drunk, and one had been thrown out of there before and told him not to come back, and he comes back and he gets arrested. It was all stupid stuff.
You know, friends, if you've never been to a casino, directly overhead are cameras,
And about every 5 feet.
and they're watching you. So if you put chips up, and then the number doesn't come up, and you try to slide it back
Yeah.
over here. Gee, oh, you think you're going to get away with that?
Oh, these brilliant two were waiting for the dealer when the ball would fall, and the dealer would look down to see what it is, and they were watching it. It would be 16, so they put a $100 chip over on 16, thinking they're going to get away with it.
God almighty. Just when I think we've hit bottom as a civilization, then we got more crawling out from under rocks.
You know, it's just like there's a thing in here about a woman got caught with 1,100 bags of heroin in a car. And she was driving erratically at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And they stopped her because she's weaving all over the road. If you got 1,100 bags of heroin in a car, you don't be driving at 2 o'clock stupid. You know that Sticks, what's his name on PD Live?
On Live PD,
Sticks,
Sergeant Sticks Larkin, is it? Or, I don't know.
From Tulsa.
Tulsa,
He's
yeah.
got a saying, we don't catch the stupid ones. Or we don't catch the smart ones. They don't catch the smart ones. They catch the
I
stupid
think,
ones.
As an addition to that story, too, she had the bags in her lap while she was driving. So tell me something.
Yeah.
Make a prediction. I don't know how much this is supposed to generate in the first year. Whatever it is, are you going to take the over or the under?
Oh, it'll be under because they always overestimate these.
Yeah.
And there's something, I watched Plain Ridge when they opened, and they gave a number, and then the state says, well, we should have this. Soon as they don't hit that number, oh my God, they didn't get to the number. They never do, because you get this opening rush. Right now, the people are going there to see what this place looks like, and hey, Ma, let's go up and see the new casino this weekend. Okay. They go, and they don't necessarily go back right away, but they got all these new people coming in. And then the revenue drops off, and then it's slowly over the years or months, we'll start building back up again.
Exactly.
But here, everything's got to be now, over the top, or it's no good. I don't care, these casinos, if they pay $100 to the state revenue, that's $100 we didn't have before. You got to remember, folks, the state doesn't build these. These are built by private enterprises. They got private money in this. It's not like your tax dollars went in to build this place. No, it didn't. Shareholders from Wynn Resorts built this place.
Exactly right, yeah.
If we get $1,000 profit, we get $1,000 profit. We get $100 million, we get $100 million. But
and the profit, if we do get $100 million, also
it'll be more
get
than that, but
6,000 jobs.
that's right.
Yeah. The 6,000 people that are going to make a living out of the casino.
It's a hell of a lot more than the cronies sitting up on Beacon Hill is going to get for you.
That's for sure. Now, my own opinion, I think that you're absolutely right, as far as you went.
Yep.
Okay? I think that when it comes time, though, for this to turn around, I think by then Rhode Island and possibly New Hampshire will have casinos built. And there may
Rhode
not...
Island does now. But
Yeah, but I mean...
nothing to that, not on that scale.
Yeah, but I think that when that time comes, I think that they're going to find that part of their potential market has been chewed up by other... because, look, if they really are a success, well, others are going to build.
And we are always Johnny-come-lately on these things.
Because we delay.
We delay, we study, we argue, we do this, we do that. We make them do 100 different studies and permits, and then permit to get a permit, and another permit to get the first permit, and you got to get another permit to get that permit. By that time, hell, the neighboring states are up and running already.
But don't you know...
We are the hub of the universe.
We have to have that delay. Because the guys that are sitting on the committee have a brother-in-law
that's
an engineer that wants to do the wetland study.
Another one's got to study the parking
and so
lot.
He's got to get a contract.
And in the wildlife, the guy say, well, what's going to affect with the birds if we have they have a light on it, at night, and a pigeon might run into the place.
Yeah. Well, here's an interesting story this morning. I got some good ones out of the paper this morning. Chinatown has the worst quality of air in Massachusetts. Now,
I don't.
you've got major streets, major routes running right by Chinatown.
Oh, yeah.
You got Chinatown wedged into a small area, and you probably get 3 times as many people in there as you
Yeah.
can handle.
And traffic is just stopped. It's just solid. That's what it is.
Exactly right.
Well, of course, the fact that it's Chinatown has nothing to do with that article at all. They imply, at least the one I read, they imply that it's because they're Chinese or blacks have the same thing or Hispanic neighborhoods are the same thing. Somehow it's racial now.
Well, it's not.
It's
is
not.
close in
Yep,
housing that is adjacent to highways.
that's right.
And it has lots and lots of traffic going by.
Yep.
So I'm not surprised by this at all.
No, they find things that are not there and they make a problem.
Do you know that there is one very disingenuous statement in this thing?
What is
I
that?
almost vomited this morning when I saw this. We've shown that if we replace our bus fleet with electric buses, this is good, and we have a grid that runs on renewable energy, we can cut this pollution by about 90%. That's a huge gain. Well, let's back up a second. If we replace the bus fleet with electric buses, we might cut pollution by 8%, 10%, whatever.
Maybe more, maybe less.
But to say the whole grid that serves Massachusetts has got to be solar or wind power, those are the only 2 we know. We don't like
No,
that
nuclear.
nasty
Oh, God, no.
nuclear. Then this isn't going to be achieved. It's not achievable with the technology that we have now.
Yeah.
So this is a stupid, disingenuous statement this clown made.
Yeah. How else are you going to? There is no solution like they can sit and think of, because why stop just to the electric buses? First of all, we don't have the money to replace the buses. And second of all,
Exactly.
the money to build the grid system, which is
good
trillions
Lord.
of dollars. Now, if you're going to do that, why don't you do like they did on Star Trek? Have those transporters where they would just step in a thing and whoop, they'd go someplace else and whoop, go someplace else. It's just as practical as that as doing what they say to do.
Exactly.
Or
exactly. It's
put the
pie in the sky.
Flying cars. Why
That's
not?
right.
Why not
Yeah.
that? It's just stupid. And we pay these people to come up with these ideas.
These think tanks?
Yeah.
The amount of money they throw at them and say, think and give us a report.
We lack common sense in this state. Totally. Other states aren't Mensa when it comes to this either, but we in California seem to have the Looney Tune of population.
New York's got a few.
New York's got some too.
This is a good one. This is pathetic. You and I have talked about this. We're going to talk about it ad infinitum. But here, this dovetails right into what we were talking about. Massachusetts has the 3rd highest housing wage.
Yep.
Do you know, folks?
Give them that. That's an interesting stat there.
Yeah. Do you know that if you want to live in a 2-bedroom apartment, a typical one, not a luxury deal, not the pit, but a decent 2-bedroom apartment in Massachusetts, you need to make $33.81 an hour.
Yep.
$33.81. Now, how many folks do you know that make $33.81? Oh, now listen, there's people in engineering firms, high-tech people. I mean, yes, there are people.
But they're not the norm.
No, they're not. Working class, middle class, bus drivers, truck drivers, construction workers, people that work in factories, school teachers, $33.81. 81. Well, that, by the way, is the norm. They'll get you into an average 2-bedroom. That is the 3rd highest rate in the country.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Now, so you've got these people wedged into Chinatown. There's too many of them in there. Okay?
Yeah.
They'll live
Oh,
in 8 to a room in some places.
They do
and
that,
stuff
too.
like that. All right? So you say, look, we've got to, this is horrible. These people are living in pens. My God almighty, they're breathing this horrible air and rah, 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 rah. Where are you going to put them?
Yep.
That's the problem, because we don't have enough housing in Massachusetts. By the way, we went over $400,000
Yep.
for a house.
House. Yeah. That's unbelievable.
It is. And when I come to that,
I don't know how young people today, starting out, get married, and both him and her are working. How do you come up with enough for the down payment and then to make the payment?
you buy the house off your parents at a big discount.
Yeah, you'd have to,
Yeah.
because I don't know what we do.
I don't see how you can do it any other
We
way.
couldn't do it.
No.
Not now. There's no way we could do it.
No. And yet, I bought my first house. Boy, I'm old. Almost 50 years ago.
Yeah, mine probably 45,
Yeah. And
maybe more.
it was the mortgage was monthly rate was $209 a month I had to pay. And I think that I was making $210 a week.
You're making big money.
Yeah.
Because mine wasn't. Well, I remember one time when the interest rates went way up.
Oh,
And on a CD you got 20%.
Yeah.
One time in my life, the People's Savings Bank in Brockton or Easton there was paying me more on a month than I was paying them on the mortgage, and that was interest and taxes too. In those days, you had to lump that all together.
Yeah.
I thought, this is great,
Yeah.
but that didn't last.
Didn't last.
No.
No. And Wise was the person that got a 5 or 6 year term
Oh,
savings account.
if I would have had any brains at all, I'd have jumped all over that.
I did. So I got one.
Of course, we probably didn't have enough money to do anything with it anyway.
I got a 6 year, I think it was, savings account for like 17.5%. That was all right. So anyway, we have a housing crisis in Massachusetts. Where do we put people?
And look, I'm not surprised that we do. But look at the new developments in Boston. Marty Walsh and all his posturing. You got where Pier 4 was, a high-rise.
See what port or whatever the hell it is.
With the name, I don't know what the name, but you look at it, a one-bedroom condo in that place starts about $1.5 million or $2 million. They go up to $15, $18 million. That's not going to relieve the shortage of housing, because these are not people that have problems finding a housing. They've got more money than they know what to do with. And you can go development after development after development. It's always these big McMansion things going up.
You take a look in the Sunday paper and take a look at Wellesley or Weston or someplace like that. A big colonial, $3.9 million.
Oh yeah. And I saw an interesting figure. Now I was kind of shocked, but I shouldn't have been. And it was broken down for this guy to build apartments. And he said his building cost, he wants to put in, if you put in low cost or low income housing, affordable housing, you can skip a lot of the zoning
Right, yeah.
But anyway, he said when he got done, the apartments were going to cost him $475,000 per unit to build. I'm thinking, wow.
Is it going to have platinum fixtures?
No, because he says if you start looking at permit for this and a permit for that, and you got to have this and you got to have this done, by the time you get done, you got $500,000 to an apartment. And he said you can't get your money back on the rentals.
So they got to condoize it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hard to believe. Hard to believe. Well, I tell you what. This infuriates me. I get letters. Do not discard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Important announcement enclosed. Well, you say to yourself,
I got one the
no.
other day. It said, do not bend, and I opened it. Why? There's nothing in there. Just a paper.
I said to myself, I know what's in there,
Yep.
but I got to open it.
You got to do it. You got to look. I know it.
Yeah. This is from Baseball America. Thank you for your order. Yes, extend my subscription, blah, 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 for $80. My payment is enclosed.
Sure it is.
Yeah. So this is important announcement.
Yep.
Do not discard. Now this is from Scotland magazine. Now
I've been looking to get that.
you're going to have this
I
fluff.
don't want it.
Now I'm predominantly Irish, English, and German. I don't have any Scotch blood. However, Scotland. Now this is do not discard. You must act within 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
What do you suppose will happen if I waited 13 days and sent this in?
Oh, they'd more than happy to
You
take it.
think so?
Oh, yeah.
Your approved annual cover price, $41.70 for a subscription. Your preferred rate, $19.95.
Yep.
And this is do not discard.
That's right.
Let me tell you, these people send you this stuff in the mail. You'd like to track them down and punch them in the nose.
I
with this.
don't. My wife will bring it in when she gets the mail. And she says, just throw it. And I won't even, I get it. I walk through the garage, there's 2 garbage cans in there, and I just don't even open them. I don't even take them in the house because they're junk.
I've torn these up and thrown them away. I'm going to catch hell for this.
Where's that? What was that?
The wife is going to say to me, why won't you shred it? We've got a
why don't you shred
shredder
it?
upstairs. An ad from a baseball newspaper? I got to go shred that?
Yeah, I don't bother.
Facial recognition. Well, it makes mistakes.
Yeah,
However, it's very useful for law enforcement.
that's right.
There are privacy issues. Does it pass muster for the Fifth Amendment? Or is it like fingerprints and DNA? I mean, is that, for them to use facial recognition, is that like testifying against yourself? No.
No.
Now, the DNA and the fingerprints, they are allowed to bring that in, so facial recognition is going to come in too. But I think there's privacy issues here. No?
No. You got the same group that's whining about this is the same group that's whining about other things all the time. You think, what are these people talking about? But usually they're connected with corrections reform group, for example. They don't want this and they don't want that. That's because their Uncle Louie and 3 of their kids and their father are sitting behind bars in Walpole. That's the motivation behind some of these things.
It is, yeah.
Now, facial recognition, something that goes with that too, is that police departments are now using these scanners. They drive along and they scan license plates when they go by. Oh no, you can't do that. But it's okay if the cop sits there
And
with a
writes it
pad
down.
and write it down and, hey, Louis, check out this license plate for him. Oh, okay. But that's okay. He's doing the same thing. He's just not doing it electronically.
You're not doing it fast.
Not doing it fast. But yet, if their car gets stolen, the same person that's whining about this, if their car gets stolen,
immediately.
they want that. Why haven't you found that car yet?
Yep.
That's my new Mercedes somebody took.
You know, this facial recognition thing. Now, if they
This has been around for a long time, but people don't know it.
take like Summer Street, Boston.
Yep.
Real busy going down to South Station. And they scan the faces going both ways.
Yep.
All right, fine, maybe, fine. But if they're up in apartment or level 7 and they are scanning the faces on a rooftop party across the alley from them, I'm not sure that I'd go along with that.
Yeah, probably not.
That's invasion of privacy.
That probably is.
When you're having a private function or something like that. But then again, the next thing they'll say is, that's how we broke up the mafia in New York. That deal up in the Adirondacks.
That's right, we scanned them.
Photographed them all and blew them up. And so I don't know. I'm not
Las
so,
Vegas with casinos have been using this for years.
Yeah.
They know when you walk into a casino
Who you is.
who you are.
Yeah.
And what you, if you're wanted or you're a known cheater or somebody wants you,
And what kind of baggage you got.
they got you right there.
Bad actor.
Local casinos do that too, I found.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, we went to, shall remain unknown, the local casino. There's nothing wrong with it. And they have a podium when you walk by. And the guy said, well, hey, Dwayne, how you doing? Okay, I looked around, there's my face on the TV screen. They got my whole name and address and stuff from there.
You're well known.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't have been. But they're using it now to welcome to, have a good time, and they know your name and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And they used to, when I would cross over to Canada, I'd go to Canada many, many times. when I'd
Hospitality
work.
kind of thing, yeah.
And when you went through the customs, they knew the time you got up to that line who you were, not only from your license plate, but they had a picture of you back in line already. And I had nothing wrong with that. That you'd catch the terrorists and everything else.
I have nothing, really and truly, I have really nothing that bothers me about this because I'm not hiding anything.
That's right.
It's the people that are hiding something. They're the ones that are talked off.
They're the ones that are behind this stuff.
Of course. Well, I have a sad story to tell you.
Okay?
It's going to change our lifestyle completely.
Maybe.
5 dead after California golf course dispute. Well, some old folks, 70, 78 years old, they were playing pitch and putt.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Yep. And they got into a big argument. There was a shooting, and it ended up with 5 of them dead.
That must have been one hell of an argument.
It had to have been. They also fled into a mobile home, which went up in flames, and 2 of them died in that. But it all started on the golf course, a pitch and putt golf course. Richard Hannon, 78, Kurt Back, 70, and some other people.
I don't know. You can't.
I'm giving
The
up on
Looney
golf.
Tunes. Yeah, me too.
Yeah. That's it. That's the end of that. I'll skip this one.
I got some good clubs they want to sell. They haven't been used for years. I'm not going to use them again. No.
Well, this is a serious subject. Study details soaring rates of teen suicide. From 2015 to 2017, among males aged 15 to 19, that's gone up 14.2%. Total increase in suicides, 2000 to 2017, 47%. Now, what the devil are we supposed to make of all of this? 80% of the victims were male, between 15 and 24. Now this is a scary thing. There was a Netflix movie, 13 Reasons Why, about a teenage girl who took her own life back in 2017. Suicides increased 29% among Americans aged 10 to 17 in the month afterwards. and remained higher than usual throughout the year.
There's a couple of factors that we should take a look at. One is when you do start dealing with statistics and past statistics, the reporting processes sometimes change. We now have statistics that we didn't have statistics from before, so it looks like the increases are really rising. When they've always been there. That suicide in Keokuk, Iowa, that some old guy hung himself in a shed where nobody ever knew it. The local mortician came out and he was buried. He didn't go into the statistical base.
Right.
Now everything is being reported, so you're getting.
And not only that, but an old fellow that died in his sleep.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Coronary thrombosis. That's it, right at there.
Right down.
But instead, he had swallowed a whole bunch of something.
That's
and
right.
knocked himself.
That's exactly right. We never knew that.
Yeah.
And number two is this is anecdotal, but I think kids today are not prepared to handle day-to-day stresses. A lot of them. We are raising generations of snowflakes.
Yep.
Meaning that as soon as it gets a little warmer on them, they melt. Our universities are teaching kids to be snowflakes. Oh my God! If you don't like what the professor said, you got to protest. You can't live. If something goes wrong, we have to bring in counselors to oh, poor Johnny.
And
yeah.
bring in puppies too.
Yeah. Bring in puppies to school.
Yeah.
So we are not teaching kids to
suck it up.
Suck it up, bear down, cowboy up. They used to say, something like that.
Well,
we're teaching them that you're fragile. Oh, your psyche is so.
Kimberly O'Brien, a research scientist who studies adolescent suicide at Boston Children's Hospital, reiterates the sobering truth about suicide among young people. This is indicative of a society that is just hurting. This is not mental illness. This is a societal problem. We're not taking care of people who are struggling. And then she goes on to lecture us about the opioid crisis.
That's another thing.
Yep. But Massachusetts, the hub of the universe, has one of the biggest increases in suicide, up 35% from 1999 to 2016. However, even so, the state still has one of the lowest suicide rates, but the rate of change is high.
Right.
We're catching up. This fellow that knew a fellow that committed suicide, he said his interest in suicide is personal as well as academic. A high school friend took his own life after being bullied. He feels the loss of a brilliant young man who could have contributed so much if he'd waited to finish high school and escaped the daily bullying. Now, I'm going to tell you something. There's something to this.
There is. That's the kind of case there is. But it's a case where they just can't cope due to daily activities where they should be able to cope. That's something else. And I'm always leery of statistics. And I took a lot of statistics in college, and I enjoyed statistics. It's boring as hell, but it can be interesting. But watch, it parallels this. It's not exact. We constantly say that we incarcerate more people per 100,000 population than anybody in the world. You say, well, we just lock people up. We don't. We catch more bad guys.
Of course we do.
Then the statistics of incarceration goes up.
And law and order is much more important in this country
Oh.
than it is in Ecuador.
If you kill somebody in Ecuador, chances of getting caught
are
nil. You kill somebody here, you got a 60-70% chance that they're going to arrest you.
Or Russia.
Or Russian.
Yeah.
Or so your incarceration rate go again. That's a statistical anomaly that even when you do suicide, there's different factors that are built into those things.
But our friend Ms. O'Brien, today's teenagers cope with anxiety, depression, pressure to succeed, circumstances exacerbated by easy access to guns
Well, there you see, there's
and poor access to mental health care. In other words, they can find a gun, but they can't find a shrink.
this week. You got the Time magazine there. There's an article in there, and it's finally somebody said we've got to start teaching kids it's okay to fail. It's okay not to achieve your dream.
Sometimes you can't achieve.
That's
your
right. That's what
dream.
they're saying.
Yeah.
We've got to teach them it's okay.
Yeah. All my life, if I wanted to be an airline pilot,
Yeah, me too.
I can't.
Yeah, we wear
My
glasses.
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, come on. But this other researcher said there's no clear data on why youth suicide is increasing. That's good to know, huh? This researcher says that. But social media are suspected of playing a role by promoting social comparison, enabling cyberbullying, and disrupting sleep. There is a very strong relationship between not getting enough sleep and depression and suicidal behavior. The Henry Ford Health System in Chicago has reduced suicides among its patients by 80% by making a series of evidence-based improvements, such as dropping group visits, same-day psychiatric appointments, and working with families to remove firearms. Now, what we need to do is to make sure that the legal firearms in everyone's home is under lock and key.
Yep.
After that, the gun has no more meaning to a suicide than if you beat yourself in the head with a baseball bat.
It's just an easier method of doing
Exactly right. It's there.
it. It's kind of hard to commit suicide with a hand crank meat grinder. One hand here and one hand to crank. But it's easy with a gun. So you don't see many meat grinders involved in suicides.
That's exactly right. But basically, they say, this is,
we got 5, Bill.
okay. Basically, one of the things here in Massachusetts, they've adopted a zero suicide initiative. The program trains mental health professionals in treating people at risk of suicide and develops services to build resiliency in younger people before suicidal thoughts take root. I'm just not convinced of that. I mean, that's pie in the sky stuff. Look, I think drugs have a lot to do with this, and I also think it is the failure of the two-parent
Family. Absolutely.
All right, to bring the kids up right.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. That single parent concept
Is a loser.
it's a big loser. It has generated untold sociological problems for us.
It has, and it can't be overstated either, because if we had the guts, if the researchers had the guts to lay this stuff out and really do some study on single-parent families, I think it would be shocking.
Massachusetts, 55% of black families are one parent.
Yeah.
It's either a mother, now it's the grandmother. And 40-some% of the Hispanic, 17 white and 9 Asian. I've got the figures
When
here.
you take a look at that and tie it up with the fact that these kids have fallen away from church, they have no real male figure in their life.
No mentoring.
The school systems in Boston are terrible.
Yep.
In fact, we'll start off our next program next week with this is shocking. And I'll just give you a tease. Boston school systems have 1,900 courses, and they have no way to evaluate the courses.
You don't know from one to the other what it is and how.
And some of them are overlapping courses.
Yep.
They teach it in this school, this school, and that school, but there's no coordination.
And no relationship
No.
between the courses.
No, and they can't judge it because these people are using that curriculum. They're using this. Nobody's talking to each other. Oh, gee, the Boston school system stinks. Wow, boy, this is a shocker. Well,
See, folks, you thought this was going to be a light, airy. They're going to talk about their favorite color and how it was getting warm outside. We're sorry, we didn't.
that's right. And I got another one here.
But you got some
folks.
talking points now.
You bet. You got another. I got another one that you're going to love. Nursing homes going out of business
Business. Yep.
because state funding, federal funding, is disappearing. So they can't take care of the elderly. So what do? They shut the place down. If I can't make a profit on a rest home, well, how can I stay in business? You know, and some very interesting statistics come out of this, and we're very interested in building homes for this group and that group and this group, but the group that seems to get ignored is the elderly. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that next time, right along with the Boston school system and a bunch of other stuff.
Looks like if you're an elderly white man, you're toast.
You know what? We went, not you and I, but we went. And we liberated Europe. We died on the shores of Europe.
Yep.
We died on the battlefields of Europe. And now we're just a bad bunch of people.
That's right.
We're a laughing stock. We're a joke. And bad guys.
Yep.
I'm
We are.
sick of it. So there.
We're deplorable white guys. Is
Yeah.
that what Elizabeth Warren told us?
Yeah.
Uneducated white guys.
Yeah. Well, no, it was Hillary that called
Oh,
it.
Hillary, that's right. We were
Yeah.
deplorable, uneducated white guys.
So, here's a promise. Next show, no more punches pulled.
That's right.
We're going to really tell it like it is.
No more softballs next time.
Folks, thanks for tuning in. And please, come back and see us again real soon. And
Let us know if you want something to talk about.
Yeah.
Or if you don't like us and you want to come and argue with us, or just, we'll
if
let you sit in.
someone would like to come and sit in with us
Yeah.
with a different point of view, we'll perhaps
We
put up
welcome
with you for 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah. He'll leave his ball bat home, and
That's right. No, seriously, folks, anybody would like to come and be a guest panelist with us that has something to say, something to add, please get a hold of the station right here and leave your name and your phone number, and we'll give you a holler. And on that note, take care and have a great weekend.
enjoy the summer.